Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Humans Are the Busy Race, written by Random 3X. Will-O-Whisperer moved silently through the brush towards his target. The latest in the strikes, the elves were launching against the pitiful human race. They had declared war on the barely sentient animals all but 3 centuries ago, a traditional amount of time to grant both sides a chance to prepare. But so far, they'd been woefully unimpressed. The closest to a weapon Will-O-Whisperer could find when searching the remains the humans they had silently killed was a small dagger affixed to their waists. "This isn't a war, brother," Oakhart said as he approached Willow. "It is a basic extermination of pests." Willow nodded. His father had told stories of brave humans in full plate armor, covered head to toe in steel. "Hard as dragon scales," Willow muttered under his breath. The armor the humans wore, if it could be called that, was close to what he knew to be called gambersome, only it was able to stop a few arrows. However, aiming for exposed spots resolved that issue quickly enough. A small movement out of the corner of his eye caught his attention. With the speed of the wind, he spun around and launched an arrow into the armpit of a human who was trying to sneak away. "Yet another disappointment," Willow bemoaned as he approached the groaning man. "You pay for this!" The man sputtered his teeth, already stained red with blood. "I doubt I will, human. You were given 3 centuries to prepare, and this is what we get," Willow said, gesturing around him. The human half spluttered. "You think this is everything we have?" the human asked between pained chuckles. "You only have those knives," Willow said, pointing to the knife on the man's belt. "The bayonet." The human let a large grin spread across his face. "You really didn't watch us at all, did you? Why would we watch animals roll in their own filth? You know, 300 years is a long time for us, right?" "I seem to recall your lifespans are barely a few decades, yes," Willow replied, wondering where this was going. "Well, the decade after your declaration, a clever alchemist was playing with some stuff." The human paused to wheeze a bit of breath. "Saltpeter, sulfur, and a bunch of other stuff. He mixed it in an iron cauldron to see what would happen." "And made some kind of wonder drug?" Willow asked, curious where this train of thought was going. "No. The bottle had shut off with a loud boom when he began cooking the mixture. Right then, the most terrible force yet was unleashed." "Something that goes bang?" "Yes, something that goes bang. Clever people with big brains worked out what if we repeated this on purpose. What if we made something that sends something flying with a bang?" "So you made a projectile. Surely it was useless. Nothing compared to our bows and millennia of training," Willow boasted. "Maybe, but we don't live long, you see." "Yes, you established this. Get to the point, vermin." Willow snarled as he twisted the arrow, causing the man's face to contort in agony. "Ah, damn you, you knife-eared prick! We spent centuries improving this toy, using it on each other in how many wars against one another." "You had centuries to prepare, and you wasted it on one another." "You see, Knife-Ear, we are not as long-lived as you bastards. We aren't as industrious as the dwarves, either. What we are, though, is very busy." "Busy?" Willow parroted. "Yes. We know we don't have long, so we try to cram as much into each life as possible. Sometimes that involves creating a gun to kill another human." "And this gun will be your salvation?" "Should be. You know, when you aren't targeting unarmed civilian camps," the human replied, taking out a hand-sized tube of some kind. "Is this the gun?" Willow asked, unimpressed. "No. I left my guns back at base. I was just meant to be delivering food to the refugees. But big oversight on my part." The human meekly smiled. "This here is a smoke grenade," he explained, pulling the pin and throwing the device away. Soon a pop went out, and red smoke began billowing upwards. "Signaling for help, then?" Willow asked, cocking his head. "Yes, calling all 120 of my friends to come down on everyone here. You see, that red means no survivors." It doesn't matter how many humans come here. Not 120, not even 1,000 can match our unit. You seem to misunderstand me, Knife here. The 120 isn't the number of men. It is the size of the gun. You see, soon after someone made a gun, they asked, what if we made it bigger? Several thunderous booms echoed off in the distance, as if to punctuate his point. They know the range and settings to hit any and all settlements, just in case. The human grinned before hacking up a glob of blood. Well then, I'll shoot down the projectile with my bow. Willow barked, raising his bow and arrow and scanning the horizon. Worst case, we can run. How fast? The human asked. As fast as the wind. Tell me, is the wind faster than sound? What? Willow barked, looking at the human. What could possibly be moved faster than sound? Shrapnel from the very big rounds our big guns just shot. Less than a few seconds before, this place is nothing but a... All good it, sir, one of the observers announced. How many pointy pricks did we get? A good few dozen, sir. They were just all standing around like they were celebrating. I see. Well, to be fair, they did need 300 years to get their heads so far up their arses that they could see out their mouths. Send word along the line. We might have some more breaches. No more assuming that we know where they are. End of story. Story number 2. When you're losing the spat, you really need to tread carefully. Written by Shadeskira. The council was silent as the nervous and shaking ensign walked to the microphone, taking a shaking breath. He opened his report and glanced at the human diplomats. Hello, I am Ensign Clatathuxelpia of the Kind's Collection, he swallowed nervously. I have been tasked with providing Supreme Commander Zolk's daily report on the situation in the Gamma Sector. Where is Supreme Commander Zolk, Ensign? The High Counselor roared. The ensign's natural camouflage flared and made him translucent for a second, before he calmed down and spoke in a shaking voice. He passed out, sir. The new developments in the war shocked him. The ensign shifted back to staring at the happy-faced humans. What developments? The High Counselor roared again. The enemy is retreating, sir, the ensign choked out, his eyes not leaving the humans. Explain, the High Chancellor said, confused and stunned. As you know, all signatories of our council must contribute to ongoing galactic-level wars, the ensign started before swallowing down some fear and mustered his courage to continue. The latest reinforcement was from the humans, sir, but they sent... The ensign froze as the humans smiled wide and continued as their lead diplomat gave him a nod. They sent 6,000 ships, sir, and 12 million ground forces with dedicated transport and support fleets, numbering an additional 3,000. They took operational control of the sector and have liberated 6 worlds across 4 systems, sir. The council was eerily silent as the news sunk in. They'd all dismissed humanity's claims to reinforce with warriors, knowing them as merchants and diplomats of the galaxy. So to hear the news that they had mustered so many ships and troops was understandably jarring. The ensign continued. The humans have also made contact with the enemy, sir. The High Counselor looked at the human delegation for confirmation, which Ambassador Sam Krieger gave with a nod. Elaborate, Ambassador. The human ambassador stood up and smiled. The enemy we have been fighting calls themselves the Vor. They are a hierarchical hive mind of insects from a Class 6 Deathworld. He says calmly, announcing the existence of the only other Class 6 Deathworld in the galaxy. The other one is the calm and collected humans. They attacked because they require resources to feed their growing population, and the human empire is currently negotiating for peace. You can't do that. You are a signatory, not a seated race, the High Chancellor said, angry at the brazen break of the bylaws of the Federation. Well, see, the Vor refuse to speak to anything they deem a non-threat. Deathworld mentality and all that nonsense, the ambassador said back calmly. To be frank, humanity understands their point of view, but we just took a different path in space. We came to you with peace and friendship because we didn't feel like dealing with a galactic-level war. I mean, honestly, your entire military force is having trouble with their harvesting fleets." The silence that followed the news that they were losing to fleets not meant for warfare was broken by the ensign passing out at the podium. The multiple reactions to fear, dread, and horror from 200 delegates lit the room up in a mesmerizing display. But the human ambassador continued, "So, the war will not parley with the Federation, because to them you are all petulant children playing at governance. However, they recognize humanity as equals, and are amiable to staying in their corner of the galaxy if we ship them 30 trillion tons of foodstuffs suitable for carbon life forms. Moreover, they seem ready to agree to a defensive pact with humanity, which will extend their military support to the Federation if humanity is not ousted." End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azrakal. Thank you very much.